Hello, I have seen a couple of people do this now. This is the BookTube newbie tag. And I have copied down the questions and we are going to do it, I guess. Question 1 was, who are you? My name is Kate. I am at Kate Newell Writes. I used to be at the Caffeinated Library, but when I wanted to shift to kind of more focusing on writing, which hasn't really happened probably yet, but will, I wanted to incorporate writing into my username, so I changed it. So I am at Kate Newell Writes everywhere. Yeah, that's me. Question 2 was, what got you into reading? The very first book I can avidly remember devouring were Go Girl books. I used to borrow them from my primary school library and just read 3 in a night, which I felt was quite impressive for, little 7-8-year-old Caitlin. Otherwise, the first proper novel I remember falling in love with was The Chronicles of Narnia. Which kind of coincided around the same time the first movie came out, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which naturally inspired me to read the book, and so I did. And I loved them. They still hold a very nostalgic place in my heart. I haven't reread them in years, and I really want to do that this year. But that's probably the first novel I remember loving. Novels, I should say, because there's 7 of them. My reading tastes have changed drastically over the years. There's still a tether that I suppose connects all of them. But yeah, so high school, when I got into high school, I fell in love with the Mortal Instruments series. More so the Infernal Devices, which is the prequel trilogy to it. I loved them. I still really love them. I have a tattoo. I really love the Infernal Devices. They were such a very important part of my journey, not just in reading but in life. When I was, around 14, 15, 16. Otherwise, the classics of that period were Divergent, Twilight, The Maze Runner, lots of angsty dystopian trial kind of books. They were all the rage, and I read and devoured every single one of them. I moved away from the small town that I grew up in when I was just finished high school, so I was still 17, and I moved to Brisbane, the big city. To me it was a very big city, and that is when I discovered that people talked about books online. And then my reading tastes changed again. I discovered a way more diverse and lovely reading space with books that just spoke to me in ways that they hadn't before. I discovered just how small-minded the small town I grew up in was. How many books we didn't have. We did not have a bookstore there. They still don't. We had Big W and Kmart, and back then the book selections were not great. Let's just say that. So yeah, I discovered Bookstagram. I had a Bookstagram from 2016 to 2019-ish, I believe. I was an avid watcher of BookTube back then, but I did not post. I was terrified of showing my face on the internet at that point. I just posted pictures of my books. And I never ever spoke because that was terrifying. But I loved talking about books, and I still do. And then I had kids. I fell pregnant in late 2018, and I kind of didn't have space for reading, or felt like I didn't, for a long time. And then when I finally did get back into reading, it was because of BookTok, TikTok, which is the story of anyone's life, honestly. My reading taste had changed a lot in however long my hiatus was from reading, 3 years, I think. They had changed exponentially in that time. I was a mother now. I, didn't have as much space for angsty teenage books as I did when I was an angsty teenager. And I kind of fell into the pattern that all the books that BookTok does immediately recommend you, and I read them, and at the time I did enjoy them. But then I kind of hit my groove. The further into BookTok I went, the more I found the people that I really enjoyed connecting with, the books I really enjoyed, having conversations with. And the first book that really changed the shift of what I enjoy to read, what I enjoy reading, what I enjoy engaging with, was Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was one of the very first books that I was like, oh, I like this. This is a book I don't just enjoy, I love this and want to marry it. And from there, I found so many other amazing series and books that I fell in love with and I adored. The Poppy War trilogy, R.F. Kuang in general. I'm very lucky to be friends with some of my favorite authors, which is a very bewildering thing, honestly. And sometimes it's still a little bit like, Jesus fucking Christ. I am just really privileged and lucky to be in a place with such amazing friends, with such amazing book recommendations, and such amazing people, and such an amazing community around me with so many amazing book racks. So yeah, that was a very long way of saying what got me into reading. I apologize. Question number 3. Why I love reading. I love reading because I just feel like the answer, if you asked me when I was in high school, the answer would be because I love being transported to a different world, a place where things are different, where there were different experiences, and I got to escape, I guess. If you ask me now, I would say I just love reading what someone has created, what their mind has conjured and put onto paper, into words. I think storytelling is incredible in whatever form it's in. It's such a wonderful medium that I know feels like it is expansive in this online bookish space where we're all talking about books. But if you spoke to the average person on the street, they'd probably tell you they read one giant book, one chapter before they go to bed, and it's probably a Bryce Courtney book, or just a random bestseller that they got for Christmas one year. So just really digging in and appreciating the work and the craft that goes into reading, becoming really honing my own writing has helped me appreciate reading and the art of reading and stories in general so much more. So yeah. Question 4. What books do I like to read? Every time I'm asked this, my brain just kind of short circuits a little bit because I am such a wide reader, and I don't mean that in a prissy way, I guess. I love so many genres. I have so much love to give to books. But I guess I love books that explore darker themes. I love books that ask me questions that I might not have considered. So a book that does that with me is highly sought after. I also just enjoy feeling good sometimes. So a book like Legends and Lattes is just wonderful for me. A book that still holds conversations about how important slowing down is, and how good it is to love and to be loved and to find love in the small everyday things of life. I love books that confront my privilege and ask me to analyze that. I love books that make me a more empathetic person, that confront the parts of myself that we all have that we don't like to think about. Some of my all-time favorite books, the cream of the crop, the Locked Tomb series, Lord of the Rings, After Sappho, Still Life, Jurassic Park, Ones We're Meant to Find. I love reading. Question 5 is, where do I read? I read anywhere. I generally need a more quiet environment if I'm physically reading. I can't listen to music while I'm reading, not music with words. Instrumental music is fine and great and encouraged. Usually in my bed or on the lounge. I am a huge reader of audiobooks too, and I read a lot of audiobooks after I've dropped my kids off at school and on my commute to work. Yeah. Why did I start this channel? Well, I always had like this secret want to create a booktube back in the day. And I just never did. And so when I started making TikTok videos, that felt really special. And obviously with TikTok doing what TikTok does, I was feeling very frustrated and worn out by the algorithm. I have some amazing friends because of TikTok, but it just felt frustrating, I guess, and tiring. I was tired of it. And then in the last couple of months, I noticed just how frustrating and annoying the algorithm had gotten. It wasn't showing me my friends' videos. It wasn't showing me the content I wanted to see. It was showing me the most random stuff that I did not give two shits about. And then when all this band stuff started being spoken about, I just decided to take the plunge. I'd had enough. I was frustrated. A lot of my friends are frustrated whose videos I care about watching, and it just didn't feel worth it for me anymore. And I am a yapper, if you have not noticed. So shifting to a longer form content place kind of suits me as a person. I like talking. It's actually hard to get me to stop. And I just love having a chat. I love connecting with people and communicating about things that I love, things that, we mutually love. And this is a wonderful place to do that. Question 7 is, what am I most excited about? Kind of a tail to the last question. I am excited to just talk about books. I'm excited to read more and learn more and know more. I'm excited to write and just have a good time with reading. I feel like I've really found the books that I enjoy reading. I'm really good at picking what I enjoy reading, and I really enjoy talking about them. So I'm just excited to do that. Question 8 is, what do I bring to BookTube? My hair color changes pretty frequently. So that's fun and spontaneous and always fun to look out for. I might shave it off again. Who knows? Spontaneity is highly sought after, I'm told. So you've got that to look forward to. I really try to read diversely and widely. So when you watch one of my videos, you could be hearing about a book from anywhere to a memoir to, a vampire smutty romance, and anywhere in between. So you get a lot from me. You get a lot of variety, which is fun. What else? Chaos. I'm a very chaotic person. I am not great at talking about myself. Talking about other things, absolutely A+. Talking about me. Next question. Question 9. What would I ask my favorite booktubers? Are we using cameras or are we using our phones? I'm using my phone. Is everyone else using cameras? What are we editing on? I'm very new to this, so help a bitch out. Chapter 10. Question 10 is, what challenges will be the hardest to overcome? I get very anxious while I'm filming and I will say a word wrong and I will film that, whatever I'm filming, like 10 more times until I'm satisfied with how I pronounce the word. I really want to get better at just like letting things be and just enjoying this. And that's it. I have a lot of empty air to edit out of this. I hope you enjoy this. Happy reading!